Okay, so before we get started, I want to play a quote from a former hedge fund manager named Jim Cramer. He is also a notable author and a recognized figure within the financial sector. He did a short interview regarding the Activision Blizzard earnings call a couple of days ago and had this to say.
In light of what happened with EA, you can. There's a lot of negativity built into ATVI. You can talk about a single shooter game. I mean, look, I have Hasbro on tonight. They have some E game stuff, and if you have E game, and then it can be battle royale. It's a winner because that's what's loved. So I think let's stay close to that. I'm not recommending that stock. I think that the short squeeze EA is so telling, though, that it's entirely possible that maybe he has something up his sleeve. I don't want to short it, is what I'm saying. I don't like battleground stocks. I like battleground games.
Okay, so was anyone able to really follow that? Because this is essentially going to set the tone for my entire video today. So let's try to unpack this. In light of what happened with EA, there's a lot of negativity built into ATVI. You can talk about a single shooter game. I mean, look, I have Hasbro on tonight. You have some E game stuff, and if you have E game, and it can be battle royale, it's a winner because that's what's loved. So I think let's stay close to that. I'm not recommending that stock. I think that the short squeeze of EA is so telling, though, that it's entirely possible that maybe he has something up his sleeve. I don't want to short it, is what I'm saying. I don't like battleground stocks. I like battleground games. Sounds really weird when someone quotes it, doesn't it? Yeah, it's kind of a mess. Essentially, all he said is that Activision Blizzard isn't popular right now, go figure. Battle Royale games are automatically winners, facepalm. That he doesn't recommend shorting the stock, fine, whatever. And he likes battleground games. Sure he does.
So what's happened is that shortage of games, but everybody at there's. Let's take the example of here's what's really going on.
So, you may ask why I am showing out of context clips and why I am seemingly making fun of a guy that has nothing to do with Activision Blizzard at all. Well, it's sort of to establish a premise for why the industry is so flawed right now, and that premise is executives, suits, high-ranking company officials, and decision makers are a lot like this guy. They are not gamers. They don't know jack shit about video games. They don't know what makes them fun, or why, or what's next. They just analyze current trends. They see, hey, Battle Royale is popular. If it can be Battle Royale, it's a winner because that's what's loved. But that really isn't the case. You all saw the title, and this isn't the first time I have called a company evil or corrupt or immoral. But by God, Activision Blizzard takes the entire cake. Yesterday, their earnings call went down after hours, and my personal prediction was a double-digit percentage share drop in line with EA after they held their own earnings call recently. I could not have been more wrong. Activision Blizzard instead announced record earnings, which should be cause for celebration, right? Well, for shareholders, yes, but right alongside these record earnings, Activision Blizzard was laying off some 770 employees across the entire company. These employees were specifically support staff, likely underpaid, hardworking individuals who make the wheels turn and push the company forward. But Activision Blizzard, despite making more money than ever before in 2018, laid them off in droves. This by itself might be explained away. Perhaps they have already run into cash flow problems in the early months of 2019. If you are determined to absolve them of responsibility, there are certainly ways to try and do so. But we cannot forget that just a month ago, Activision Blizzard also gave a $15 million enrichment package to their new CFO, right as they were preparing to lay off nearly 800 workers, while the company rakes in profits at an all-time high. My combative attitude towards AAA publishers may seem vindictive at times. It may seem over the top or unjustified to those that merely look at a game, want to buy it, play it, and then move on. But to anyone diving deeper into the industry, I hope it will begin to make sense why I have such a passionate and oftentimes pessimistic outlook. These companies are evil. They are corrupt both morally and ethically. With profit margins accelerating to record heights, Activision Blizzard should be creating jobs, hiring talented artists to improve their games or work on new concepts, not laying off hardworking people so that they can enrich their out-of-touch executives with multi-million-dollar bonuses. I discuss frequently how the rules of engagement for these corporations are very, very skewed. They do not obey the laws of reason or pragmatism. The fact is, they must increase their earnings every single year, quarter, and even day. To not do so, or to do so at even a slower rate than the previous period, is deemed to be catastrophic and unacceptable, and thus, their business practices will continue to degrade at an ever-increasing rate until a total meltdown. Activision Blizzard already has a Battle Royale. Their mistake was barring it behind a $60 price tag and not having it be a free-to-play standalone. They just couldn't help themselves. Apex Legends has now taken that market. They can't just flip Blackout over to being free. That would be a PR disaster, seeing as mere months ago, players paid a full $60 for it. They must now find new ways to monetize in order to continue their expected growth, progressively larger and larger. But Activision Blizzard are also responsible for such hits as Red Dot on Screen and Reused Smiley Face. They have already crammed every ounce of possible monetization into Call of Duty Black Ops 4. They are approaching the end of the annualized release cycle tolerance window, and now, instead of innovating, instead of producing quality content and using that to increase their bottom line, they are cutting costs by firing developers and support staff in order to increase the amount of money that the company retains after aggressive monetization of mediocre products. Now, as I cover this topic, I must address every angle. Activision Blizzard has expressed an intention to reformat their priorities towards core earning games such as Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Overwatch, Warcraft, Hearthstone, and Diablo, with a statement that during 2019, they will increase the development team size for those titles specifically by about 20%. If this holds true, then that is one small element of positivity. But for a company making more money than ever before and giving out enrichment packages with both stock options, cash bonuses, and other incentives of $15 million to a single executive, there was absolutely no morally justifiable reason to lay off support staff across the entire company in order to move forward. Activision Blizzard's CEO Bobby Kotick said specifically, "While our financial results for 2018 were the best in our history, we didn't realize our full potential. Let's open up the most credible analysis tool in existence, and that is Microsoft Paint." If there was a graph with both a lower and an upper limit on which you could quantifiably show where Activision Blizzard was with how much room for improvement, then what he said would be perfectly acceptable and fine. But such a graph does not exist, because on a fundamental level, there is no upper limit at all. These companies are operating on an unfinished graph where they started at zero and must maximize profit, but there is no win condition, no amount that constitutes full potential. So they are in a never-ending cycle of climbing, when the sad truth is that consumers do not have the money to support them forever. There are not enough gamers on the planet or dollars in our wallets to sustain their desired growth pattern, and since even slower growth is considered decline, and actual decline is considered outright cataclysm now, they are on a set of stairs, forced to walk forward until the stairs end, but they physically cannot stop walking. This principle on a wider level is the reason economic collapse often occurs. It's like if I was somehow obligated to increase my kill count in a Black Ops game, or any Battle Royale game for that matter in the industry, if I was obligated to increase my kill count forever. It could start well, as I get 1 kill, then 3, then 5, then 8, then 11, and my growth pattern is increasing, and so on and so forth, but eventually it's harder and harder to find additional players, or find them fast enough, and at a certain point, even if I have maximized every single possible variable, I could only get as many kills as there are players in the match, no more. Well, if I had shareholders who were expecting faster and faster growth, hitting that upper limit is unacceptable, but that upper limit is immutable, and once reached, everything falls apart. Gaming publishers on a AAA level are headed right into that upper limit. What else can they monetize? Soon we will be buying a game and then paying just to name our character something customized. And on the side, the large companies will be laying off creative developers because paying them is just too much of a burden. And instead, they will reskin, resell, and cut costs even in the face of the highest profit margins they have ever seen in their entire lifespan. Most of the 770 some odd support staff laid off from Activision Blizzard will recover, but some of them may not. Activision Blizzard destroyed lives today. I can't say for certain how many, but some of those workers will be dealt a blow that negatively impacts them for years to come. That was not a scenario in which these layoffs were necessary. This is not a company struggling to regain its footing in order to move forward. This is a company moving forward faster than ever before, and still they execute a maneuver such as this. The executives in charge, largely speaking, do not care about video games. They do not understand what makes games fun or why it makes them fun. They view the industry as a trend analysis while running beloved franchises into the ground in order to reformat their monetization with maximum effect. There isn't much I can personally do to impact these massive companies. I'm probably blacklisted, which I'm kind of happy about now that I think about it, because to be honest, to not be blacklisted by a company I view and advocate as being morally and ethically repugnant, that would make me genuinely uncomfortable. To not be blacklisted by them, something's wrong there. But regardless, I can't force them to change their ways. What I can do is try to spread awareness of what they are doing, and discuss why it is a one-way ticket to industry collapse, at least on a moderate level. And when that happens, we need to be mentally prepared for it. That's about it for today, though. It's not a fun thing to talk about. It's not a pleasant topic to discuss, but those that are incapable of bucking up and dealing with the bad elements of the industry, those that must habitually tell themselves that everything in the world is amazing and nothing is ever negative, those people are weak, and the rest of us need to shoulder the weight of their blissful ignorance in order to possibly, maybe, help deflect these sort of practices from degrading ever further. If you want to support the channel, check out the links down below. We have a Facebook group, Discord server, our own gaming forums, and esports merch as well with custom name, gamer tag, and number. But I'll cut it there and I'll stop rambling. Thank you all for watching, as always, and have a nice night.
It's a winner.